Okay, here we are, boys and girls. A rainy, wet Montana. I can't say spring because today is summer solstice, beginning of summer. So let me show you what's going on. So we got our garlic. It's starting to turn a little bit, which is good. See those brown tips going on? So it's going to be maturing soon. And then I have my corn, which is doing great. They say knee high by 4th of July. It's getting pretty darn close. And then we have the potatoes. So we're shading out the corn. So I put that string around there to try to pull them all together. And they're shading out the carrots, which I'm not terribly concerned about. But they're shading out the bell peppers. Okay, so with this cold, wet, rainy weather, these guys are just sitting there. As you can see, they're having their struggles. Got a bunch of bug damage, and there's still hail damage. But they're doing good. I mean, they'll be fine. Let's see. The summer squash is like, wow. Got a bunch of females growing, but no males to pollinate them. And these guys are kind of taking off. Weather forecast calls for cold weather until about Sunday. There's the cucumber. Now, on the other hand, I think I might have planted the tomatoes a little too close because they're getting big. And the onions, all I can say is wow. They are doing great. Look at that. I'm going to get big giant bulbs out of these guys. They are so healthy and green and thriving, and yeah, good news there. Beans, they're perking up. Now I want to give you an example of why I do not use pesticides and insecticides. Because if you can look, you can see when they were young they had a lot of damage. But then they burst out of it. Now, saying that, the weather we're having right now is probably going to make them susceptible to more insect damage. And this guy here, he's not doing so well because they chewed away the top here. But the way I see it, okay, yeah. So there's my sacrificial green bean. But let's take a look at the other ones. I'm going to get plenty of beans off them. Alright, so moving around. Oh, it's so cold out here I can see my breath. We got some tomatoes. I got mosquitoes buzzing around me right now. Look at that. There they are. So I mislabeled a whole bunch of my plants. I don't know how I did it, but it happened. So the way I got these tomatoes labeled, I'm not really confident on whether I got the right tomato plants or the right label. So the asparagus is doing great. Next year I might be able to cut a few. And then coming back over here, you can see I got a little pepper plant that's not doing well. But you know what? If and when the weather warms up and gets dry, they'll do good. And then look at this, my potatoes. I better I better get a good crop out of this because it's starting to shade my bell peppers. It's shading the carrots. That's okay. They'll do fine. Carrots is something that I always have left over. And then back to the corn. And then I grew another row. And even with this cold, wet weather, they're coming up. Let's take a look. There we go. See, there's one right there. Ooh, let's go slow. Okay. So that's it. And there's my empty chicken yard. Alright, so that's an update. Everything's still doing well. Except the peppers. But with this weather, that's to be expected. So I expect to have a good crop this year. Alright, this is Garden 2023 over and out.